This is my review for David. It is a new animated Angel Studios movie. It comes out on December 19th, 18th if you go see it on Thursday. It's coming out the same day as a lot of other movies. I think SpongeBob, Avatar, Fire and Ash, The Housemaid. That's a bunch of movies that come out the same day. You know, it's right before Christmas. They like to release a lot of movies before Christmas. There's a lot of people that are free, money to be made during that time. So it's a lot of movies coming out. But I was able to go see this movie early, and it was a phenomenal experience. It's something I've been waiting on seeing. And as soon as I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh wow, this is great. The movie is made and directed by Phil Cunningham and Brent Dawes. The movie stars Brandon Ingman, Phil Wickham, I think, Asim Chowdhury, Ashley Bocher, Mick Wingert, Mark Whitten, Katie Stein, I think, maybe, Lauren Daigle, Will Lorenzi Martin, I think, right? Yes. Brian Stivale plays Samuel. Adam Michael Gold is the voice of Saul. Mark Jacobson is Jonathan. Cameron Nick Had is Goliath. And Sloan Lucas Muldown is young. Is it Zeruiah? I don't know. I said that wrong. The movie is a story of Jacob's early life up until he becomes king. I said Jacob. David, sorry. The movie is the story of David's early life up until he becomes king. So the movie primarily, if you want to know David's whole story, it's primarily covered in the books of the Bible of 1st and 2nd Samuel. And then also, if you don't know, but David wrote the Psalms as well. So reading Psalms, 1st and 2nd Samuel would give you basically all of the other information, because this is a movie that's animated, that's made for children. There are some things that adults will notice, but there's some other things that kind of were left out. The movie starts itself with David. As we know, he's a shepherd with his family. He has brothers, I think a few older brothers, and I think he has 1 or 2 sisters, I think. He's with his mom and dad. He usually likes to tend to the flock of sheep. He likes to stay with the sheep. He's the shepherd. That's what he likes. It's quiet. He's able to talk to God. He's able to hear God. Basically, Saul is the king. Saul is the first king of Israel. And so he was the anointed one by God, but he gets told that God has chosen someone else who will be the second king of Israel. And so he's obviously understandably upset. He's mad. He's like, who is this person, and how is this person going to come after me? How is this person going to take over for me? Things like that. Samuel goes and tells I keep saying Jacob. I'm so sorry. David, sorry. Samuel goes and tells David's parents that he is anointed and that he's going to be the king eventually. They kind of keep it a secret, don't really tell anybody. What happens is they send David off to go play for the king, because David is if you don't know, he's very gifted with music and singing and dancing. David is literally called a man after God's own heart because of his commitment to his faith and his reverence for the Lord, and also how he is, because obviously no one's perfect, so his commitment to repenting for his sins and asking for forgiveness. I know this movie is made for children, but it's about the story of David. David, if you don't know, after reading parts of the Bible, you will understand his 2 biggest sins was murder and adultery. That's about as far as I'm going to go into that one. But David, definitely I'd say take the time to read his story. Read the Bible. It's very interesting. You'll enjoy it. But the movie itself, it goes from him cheering up Saul and Saul being like, okay, yeah, like, you're cool. I like you. There's something special about you. not knowing anything more than that. The Philistines, they come and their king is like, hey, we had a treaty, we had an agreement, but bump all that. I have a whole army, so I'm about to come and attack you, Saul. And then Saul's like he doesn't really have a big army. He's not really ready for that. So, at least in the movie wise. So he's like, all right, the guy's like, the devil always has a trick up his sleeve. So the king for the Philistines, he's like, all right, I'll do you one better. You choose your best warrior against my best warrior. And what'll happen is if we win, then we get to take you guys and y'all will be our slaves and servants. If you guys win, you get to take the Philistines and we'll be your slaves and servants. Basically, and the movie does this really well. So this is the story of David and Goliath that most people know. God protected David from lions, bears, all kinds of animals when he was protecting the sheep. So David and Goliath is a story that is encapsulated kind of through his life, at least the early stages. So Goliath is the chosen champion by the Philistines. The part of him coming out was really amazing. There was a lot of attention to detail of how big Goliath is in the movie and how big he actually was. Goliath has like 6 fingers. When he walked, the ground shakes. They did really well with animating this in the movie. Also, so it's funny because the first guy that comes out, he's really big too. And they're like, oh snap, is that him? And he's like, no, that's his armor bearer. Like, that's how big Goliath is. And so he comes out afterwards and you're like, dude, this is insurmountable odds, but not for God, not for Jesus at all. And so everybody's like, I'm not going out there. I'm not fighting Goliath. And Saul's son, Prince Jonathan, is all like, I'll do it, Dad. Like, I'll go out there, which he was one of my favorite characters in the movie. Like, besides David, I loved Jonathan's character, loved him a lot. He was amazing. And I have to really go myself and reread because I want to know more about if they spoke more about how they expanded on him in the Bible. But man, he was great. He was a great, great character. He was like a good kind of like brother to David, so to speak. Basically, David, so this is the part that they kind of leave out. David in the Bible, and I'm going to go look this up, correction, and see. Let me see. Okay, I had to go find the Bible. So, it is 1 Samuel. I didn't want to tell y'all wrong. 1 Samuel 17, I think it starts at, well, the whole story is in 17, but it starts at 25. This is the part that they left out of the movie. Previously, an Israelite man had declared, do you see this man who keeps coming out? He comes to defy Israel. The king will make the man who kills him very rich and will give him his daughter. The king will also make the family of that man's father exempt from paying taxes in Israel. David spoke to the men who were standing with him. What will be done for the man who kills that Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Just who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? The troops told him about the offer, again concluding that is what will be done for the man who kills him. David's oldest brother, Eliab, who was also in the movie, listened as he spoke to the men, and he became angry with him. Why did you come down here? He asked. Who did you leave those few sheep with in the wilderness? I know your arrogance and your evil heart. You came down to see the battle. What have I done now? Protested David. It was just a question. Then he turned from those beside him and others in front of him and asked about the offer. Again, the people gave him the same answer as before. What David said was overheard and reported to Saul. So he had David brought to him. David said to Saul, which this is in the movie, don't let anyone be discouraged by him. Your servant will go and fight this Philistine. But Saul replied, you can't go fight this Philistine. You're just a youth. And he's been a warrior since he was young. David answered Saul, your servant has been tending his father's sheep. Whenever a lion or a bear came and carried off a lamb from the flock, I went after it, struck it down, and rescued the lamb from its mouth. If it reared up against me, I would grab it by its fur, strike it down, and kill it. Your servant has killed lions and bears. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them. for he has defied the armies of the living God. Then David said, the Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. Saul said to David, go, and may the Lord be with you. So the part that they didn't have, they had that part in the movie where David boldly is like, God has delivered me from lions and bears. I know God. I love God. I know who he is. I have full faith in him that he will deliver me from this uncircumcised Philistine, because the way that they depict it in the movie, it doesn't explain it. So, and they did depict this part, which I do respect. Philistines have no respect for God. They openly mock God. They openly, and especially Goliath, for sure. He was blaspheming God. He was talking about God. He was mocking God openly to them. And he's basically telling them that I can fight God. I'm bigger than God. I'm better than God. He says it in the movie. And so David is like, oh, this person doesn't have God on his side. We have God on our side. So I can beat him. I can take him down. He had full faith and trust in the Lord. The thing that they left out in the movie, because it is a children's movie, but they could have put it in there a little bit better. But part of why David did this, which is a lesson in life, it's not wrong to do things because you're going to get something out of it. The thing is, David was so bold that he was able to take on the opportunity and do it because he trusted in the Lord and he knew that the Lord had delivered this opportunity to him. The Lord told him, you are going to be king. The man who marries the daughter of the current king becomes king. So if it's a man who doesn't believe in God, who your army is backed by God, and you believe in God, and God has told you you're going to be king, and the king is going to make you rich, that automatically coincides with what David has already been told. If he's anointed and he's been told, so God is not a man, so but God is not a man, so that he can't not lie. God put that on himself that he can't lie to us. So if he tells us something, it is so. So David knows this fully. And he's like, tell me again what I get. I get to be rich. I get to have a wife and become the king. God's already told me this. So I'll go out there and fight him. I don't care what I look like to Goliath. I'm going to go out there and do it. And so David does go out there. He gets the stone and he puts it in the sling. Goliath's talking mess, this and that. He swings it. The way that they depict the scene is phenomenal. He kills Goliath. They don't do the thing where he takes his head and everything. That's in the Bible. But the movie is phenomenal. The way that they depict everything is very good. It's for children to see so they can understand what it's like to have faith from a young age throughout your whole life. As we know as adults, it is harder because you get to that part of repenting and commitment to asking for forgiveness, because we know that we're not perfect and we know that we will sin, but it's a life where we try not to sin. The rest of this movie, they go through Saul turning away from God and David making mistakes, but also trying to follow God. The songs are really, really nice. I love them. I love how open and honest they are about trusting God and putting him first and following him and having full faith in him. I feel like it's a great depiction of David's life until he becomes king. That's the only thing that I feel like they could have added in there, because that's another thing they could have explained, but it's a pretty deep thing. I'm glad I was able to have this opportunity to use the Bible to explain it to y'all. That was a blessing to be able to use the Bible in a review to explain something. So once again, David, phenomenal movie. Phenomenal movie. Go see it. It's worth the time. It's an amazing animated movie. It's an amazing story, especially if you believe. It's a movie whether you believe or not, but if you believe in God and you believe in Christ, it's definitely an amazing movie. David is the father of Solomon. We all have heard about Solomon. We've heard about David. He's one of Jesus's ancestors. It's an amazing, phenomenal movie. Angel Studios did a great job. Everyone involved did a great job. Definitely worth to watch. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. Who's your favorite character in the Bible? What's your favorite part about David's story? Anything. Just anything you guys would like to talk about. Thank you guys so much. Once again, like always, I pray that you guys have an encounter with Christ if you don't know him. If you do know him, I pray that he guides you and gives you correction, and he helps to bless you in your life. And you guys have a blessed day or night whenever you're watching this. And thank you guys so much for your support.